Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. I'm your host, Lia Chang. Today, I'll be featuring interviews with James Chen, who is starring in KCRep's production of Cyrano, directed by Nelson T. Eusebio III. I am so excited to be in Kansas City, Missouri for the opening night performance of Cyrano at KCRep, directed by Nelson T. Eusebio III and starring James Chen as the first Asian American to play Cyrano in a regional production, and even more thrilled and delighted that he agreed to get up this morning at an ungodly hour and sit with me and tell me about the show. James!
Hey.
But now you have had your coffee, and we had this incredible smoked brisket hash that I'm still working on. Delightful. But what does it feel like? It's opening night. Are you ready?
You know, we're as ready as we'll ever be. We worked pretty hard in the rehearsal room. We've had a great time in tech and collaborating with the designers and each other as castmates. We've had our 3 previews. We're ready. We're ready.
Now, you saw the production originally at BAM with James T. McAvoy.
I did.
So you had a leg up, if you will, with regards to knowing about this particular adaptation. What's Nelson's concept in terms of having an Asian American star in it and having an Asian American direct it, but more importantly, there are some key differences from what people would traditionally think about Cyrano.
Yeah, traditionally, I mean, textually, from the original, so this is like a relatively new adaptation of the Rostand play. This adaptation came out in 2019 by Martin Crimp. But traditionally, yeah, and textually, Cyrano was born with a freakishly long nose that has given him an insane complex. He's been ostracized by society. He's an extremely passionate individual, an amazing swords fighter, and just feels that he is incurably unlovable because of his physical deformity. In this production, we're not using a prosthetic for a nose that most productions do when they do the traditional adaptation, but in this one we are making a commentary on what it means to be an Asian American male in society, that it is in its own way a physical deformity based off of the kind of prejudice that has been put upon and foisted upon Asian men against their will. The 150 plus years of essentially like racism against Asian men, and if you want to look at how we are in modern times, like Asian men, black women are the least statistically desirable group in dating apps, if you wanted to even quantify it there. So there is a through line from Chinese Exclusion Act, miscegenation laws of the 1800s, all the way through to the way that Asian men are depicted in movies as one-dimensional sidekicks, desexualized, effeminate. So this is a great opportunity to shed light on the fact that as an Asian man, Cyrano is a perfect kind of template to show that same struggle, because it is Asian men deal with the same thing that Cyrano deals with, this identity of feeling like the world is against us and being unworthy of love because of all the signals out there.
Well, it has been, unfortunately, the norm that Asian American men don't often have really fully fleshed out characters that they can sink their teeth in any media, film, TV, or theater.
Right.
How does it compare with your work with Cyrano?
Well, yeah, Cyrano he's incredibly complex, incredibly three-dimensional. He's the lead of the show, which is, a refreshing breath of air for, I guess, an Asian American actor. But I honestly, for any actor, this role would be such a kind of rich, artistic kind of well to keep drinking from and keep playing with. So that's been like super gratifying, and it's gonna keep me busy. Honestly, probably not only through the end until when we close, but afterwards too. There's just so much to mine.
Well, I would also think that when you do something like this, it's hard to go back.
Sure, yeah. It's certainly like it sets a new standard, I think, for what you know, how far you can push yourself, or how hard you can work, or how
Or what
much
you
a
deserve.
challenge, or what you deserve, or what you
It's
deserve.
what you deserve.
It's true. It's true. It's true. What we all deserve, and it is. You know, Nelson and I talk about this a lot. How it's a shame that I did not even realize that this production was such a milestone for all those reasons. Like, first time it's an Asian American Cyrano in the regional theater, first time it's an Asian American director, and then to have us both be Asian Americans, Cyrano and director.
Repping.
Right.
Representation.
But it's like 2023. It's
I
just
know.
insane that that's...
It's hard. It's while we say it out loud, it's really annoying that we have to say it out loud.
Yeah, right. But you're right. I mean, going back to this idea of like it sets a new standard. I feel like we as Asian Americans, especially lately, have been like redefining our identity and redefining what we expect from ourselves and our future and society, and
Right.
making our own table for ourselves to sit at. And I think this is part of that. And I think it's like, we're not our parents' generation where they were, generally speaking, I think a lot of them were immigrants and they were just trying to survive. And I feel like now we have more, thanks to them, we have like more time and space to kind of really take up our own space. And I feel like this is definitely a part of that in a great way. Yeah.
And what an opportune time for it to come. Given the writer's strike.
Yeah, Nelson and I talk about this a lot. Like, if it wasn't for the writer's strike, I wouldn't be able to be here. Because I would be shooting FBI in Brooklyn right now. So the timing worked out really well, actually. During a time where most actors are not working at all. Like, I swear, I have never worked harder than this in arguably in my life.
On that note, tonight, opening night for Cyrano KCRep in Kansas City, Missouri. The production plays through September 24th, and you all need to come see it. Cheers!
We did it.
So the first thing that came to me in the callbacks was we had a couple of different South Asian and very good-looking Asian men audition, but they all acted like they were good-looking and they knew it.
I hate those kind.
I might have been one of those kind for a brief period of my life when I still felt like I had those looks. Now I'm, but I realized that is what Cyrano and who Cyrano is whether other people perceive him to have a nose or to be good looking or to be worthy of love, he does not perceive himself that way. And so whether James Chen is good looking or he's not good looking is almost besides the point. The point is that Cyrano, played by James Chen, does not believe that he is good looking enough or worthy enough of Roxanne's love. It also helps that Christopher Rivas is a little taller and just as equally beautiful as James Chen.
So let's tell audiences why they need to come see this production of Cyrano, which plays until September 24th at the Spencer Theater.
Great. People need to come out and see this work because it's beautiful acting, gorgeous fighting. The fighting is a fusion of Western and Eastern traditions, wuxia Chinese films, and Old Boy, plus rapiers like you expect from a swashbuckling Cyrano. The language is being delivered in a fresh and exciting way. This is the first American theater-produced version of the Martin Crimp adaptation, and it is beautiful, fun, fresh, literary, and brings the contemporary sensibility of where we are now and ideas about gender and ideas about class to the values that are held up in crimp script. So all of that said, for all of those reasons, but the design is gorgeous and it is a great time at the theater. We give you everything. We give you romance. We give you sword fights. We give you singing. We give you big battles. And we give you heartbreak. It's a good night at the theater.
Yes, it is.
Nighttime. Picture me down by the river, ready to fight with the gleams of the yellow flowers. I'm facing over 100 men.
I mean, it's all good. Hi, Lia. See you.
This reminds me of his whole style out
Ryu. Congratulations. That's great, dude. You know Lia?
Yeah. She's part of like 8 of my shows so far.
Oh, incredible.
Murderer. Fucking murdered it. How you feeling?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Look, let's smile and take a picture. Congrats, brother. I'm with you. I know, right?
Yeah.
I can't believe that's it.
Do you guys know?
We met.
First, say thank you and congratulations to my friend, my colleague, the artist Nelson Eusebio III. You think about the things that you lack as a leader, and the things that might be a compelling foil to the way that you lead and the types of work that you direct and are mostly inspired by. And when Nelson and I were in conversation, there were so many things that really revealed themselves in those conversations about classic work and the intentionality with which he thinks about classic work that brings a multi-identity but lived experience approach to thinking about character and relationships and dynamics and world building. And those were things that I wanted to be a part of Kansas City Rep's future.
Started a long time ago. I was maybe a 20-something-year-old sitting in the little theater in UC Irvine watching this gentleman named Corey Allen walk back and forth doing the balcony scene from Cyrano. I may have taken some hallucinogens during that time, and so it was pretty much the most amazing balcony scene I'd ever seen. And from that moment on, I knew that someday I would get to do this play. It was a bucket list play for me. And so as we embarked on this journey, the biggest thing to me was not just what we would do with it, because I kind of knew what that would be, and when we got the gift of the Crimp translation, that was huge. And I read that, and I knew instantly what we were gonna try and do with it. But then the real question became, who is Cyrano? Our Cyrano became James Chen. When you're doing this play, you start out and you think, it's gonna be this, and they gotta fight, and they gotta be angry, and they, especially if you're thinking about how you're gonna use the nose as a metaphor for the Asian American male experience in this country, it's super clear, and why James became part of the choice is because he could do the humor. One of the earliest casting choices we made was casting Jimmy Kiefer as De Guiche.
Of course.
And once you have the Jimmy as your De Guiche, that means De Guiche is going to be funny. He's going to be evil, but people are going to like him because that's who Jimmy Kiefer is on stage. That means your Cyrano has to be incredibly charismatic. It also means that your Roxanne has to be a straight up baller. In this script, she's got to rip people's hearts out. She's got to be show-stoppingly gorgeous. And we were so, so blessed to get Ito with us.
Woo!
And then magically in the callbacks with Jay-Z, we've got Christopher Rivas. I remember thinking this on day one of rehearsal when we showed the film about Yellowface and just setting the standard for the emotional vulnerability that we as BIPOC artists were going to have to bring to this at a PWI that is KCRep. I've been here for 2 years. I'm very proud of the work that we do here, and I'm very proud to work with many of you. But we are not always ready for the smoke that the BIPOC artists can bring. And so one of my missions was to make sure that we were ready for this, because it was going to require a level of emotional vulnerability that I don't often exercise with my colleagues here. And so I'm very proud that we as an organization were able to grow and support this work. So that is a big credit, not just to our staff, but to Stuart's leadership, to all of the anti-racist training that we've gone through, and quite frankly, to the level of emotional vulnerability that we established in the room. From day one, we had the hard, difficult conversations. We talked about how we've been harmed in different situations, and that helped bind us together, helped us create a stronger bond as a company. And it meant when it was time to put it on the line, there wasn't an ounce of fear of doing the work. Tonight is a great night, and I'm happy to celebrate it. But we made American theater history tonight. That doesn't happen every opening.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all of you who helped make that happen. I'm incredibly, incredibly grateful that not only did we deliver on the promise that we made to each other, but I'm incredibly grateful that we're taking that promise to our audiences here in Kansas City. I'm excited to see what that conversation brings to us.
One more time. Hold on.
This production of KCRep's Cyrano, I was blown away by it. And I really recommend that you come see it. It was everything.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time. Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. I am here with Leianne Lamb of Cats, her kids, my friend I've known for a gazillion years, Greg Shanuel, and we are about to have this divine feast at Miss Mamie's Spoonbread 2. Cheers!
Cheers.
I am at the Silk Road Cafe to talk to Leianne Lamb about her upcoming film festival that takes place in the fall.
Yes.
Hi, Leianne.
Hi, Leah. Thanks so much for having me.
Woo-hoo-hoo. So, you've been having quite a time. You know, I love when you get to come to New York because not only do I get to see you, but you get to do your favorite thing, which is
Eating with you.
now and well, definitely we always have to eat, but going to the theater.
Oh, without question.
So, what have you seen since you've been in town?
I've seen Some Like It Hot.
Mhm.
That was one night. And last night we saw Kimberly Akimbo,
Right.
voted Best Musical. And tonight will be Here Lies Love, which will be extremely exciting for me and my family.
Yeah. And you did see Cambodian rock band at Berkeley Rep, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So you're going to be able to see two of the cast members from Cambodian rock band, Moses Villarama and Gina Quintos, tonight as well.
The founders of CATS really wanted to provide a venue locally for our Asian American audiences and beyond to actually enjoy Asian American theater, film, music, comedy. So we worked with emerging artists, anyone from 18 Mighty Mountain Warriors. We've had Hassan Minaj, we've had Ali Wong in their early days. And this is almost like we like to showcase our great talent, and we can spot it obviously.
Sure.
By our shows.
Well, not only were my movies Hide and Seek and When the World Was Young in part of a lineup in your festival, but other movies that I have a kinship to, Paper Tigers, which Wing Lee, our production designer, is all the production designer for Paper Tigers, but then also A Father's Son, for which I was the set photographer for, starring Ronnie Chang, Tai Ma, and Perry Young. Now, so that's I just thought it was a really cool connection when we thought about having our conversation here.
And thanks to you introduced us to all these great actors. When I look at your Instagram and your series, your programming, you are our benchmark for entertainment and things that we should really be taking advantage of on the West Coast as well. So thank you so much for introducing your films and us to the API artists and actors that people really need to see.
So what was it that spoke to you about the two movies that you really got?
What's really important to us is not only the quality of the film, the cinematography, the production, the pacing, the message, and the overall composition and story, but there's some themes that are especially important and very timely to our selection. One of your films was about identity and self-reflection and feeling confident about oneself. That spoke worlds to all of us and in the Film Festival Committee, because we need to see films like that. We need to reflect upon how we see ourselves, to empower ourselves, whether it is to heal, to move forward, or just to have a young person understand, oh, the media has taught me something different, and I need to change that.
Yeah.
Another film that you had was about a family dealing with aging parents. And as we're all going through this right now, we can only relate to that film and understand how does this family deal with their aging parent, whether it be from Alzheimer's or mental illness. And mental wellness is very important to cats. So we have programs around Tai Chi or healing or breathing. So your film was especially relevant to helping our audiences move forward and to heal themselves and to feel their voice.
So when is the film festival going to take place this year?
It's going to be taking place live for 3 days, October 20th through 22nd, and then online from the 20th to 29th. When we have our on-site films, we definitely have a full experience for the audience, so we have the filmmaker or the cast as possible, especially during the strike. As it can come up, we'd like them to join us, whether to have more of a conversation about the theme of their film as well.
Right.
And we'd like to add, for the online community who might feel more comfortable at home, is we have conversations with filmmakers that we feature online, so they can get a better and more insight into the process.
So all the things that you were doing online, are they all available on your YouTube channel?
They're available through our SBAP Film Fest. If you go through that site, then you can go to our platform and channel of how we actually distribute our online.
Okay, and so what is that URL?
It's sbapfilmfest.org.
Okay.
What's important is Asian Americans have gone through a really interesting cycle, whether it be the pandemic and dealing with anti-Asian incidents, and now we're into more of an identity and empowerment identity. And I think that's really important for people to realize that the stories that have made us want to enrich ourselves, right? And oftentimes we hear that you're telling my story, and they might be from other ethnicities altogether, or you might hear my story isn't important, but believe me, if you tell your story, there are many people who can start appreciating you, or appreciating and becoming an ally, not realizing what the story has been made up of: challenges, of struggles, of happiness, and things like that can improve and enrich your own life. Leah, something that is very exciting with CATS is that we're focusing on our younger generation. Our younger demographic is so important. They love concerts like 88 Rising. They love musical concerts. And so we want to provide entertainment and opportunities for them.
Okay.
So earlier this summer and again next year, we'll have a stage reading opportunity for high school and college folks.
So what was this year? What was the reading this year?
This year was Christopher Chen's The Headlight. It was sold out. It was sold out for all performances. It was fabulous. We'll do it again next year. Well, when you are able to celebrate the farewell concert of some legendary band who was celebrating their 50 years of performing, it was fabulous. It was a celebration.
And didn't they also have a new CD?
They had it like a
or a compilation CD, right? They do a lot of compilation CDs,
right. But it was great having the community come out for that. They came from all around the Bay Area.
Oh, great.
To wish on the Hiroshima on their Domo tour, saying you and farewell, to doing a concert for Maui, a benefit concert for Maui for all those victims that we want to support because of the devastating wildfires. So we are going to have a benefit concert with young artists, including a rapper, very big rapper based in San Francisco named Son of Paper, and other emerging artists that we like to really focus and feature and showcase in our area. But also we're bringing over a band, a pop group actually, from Oahu, and they're called Crossing Rain.
Okay.
They're an award-winning group. I think they won the performance award in Hawaii, and they are sort of a K-pop, but they call it H-pop, Hawaii pop.
That's fun.
So they're one of my dynamic group of 5 men who sing, dance, and they're going to be outstanding and very entertaining. We're going to have lights and. It'll be a blast for everyone.
And where is this going to be held?
It's going to be held in Japantown, San Jose, Japantown, at the San Jose Mitsuin Hall. So that'll be taking place on Saturday, September 16th.
Okay. And how can people get tickets?
They can go to either our Instagram site, which is Catch Asian Theater, or they can go to our website, catchasiantheaterscene.org. For September 16th, we're going to have Son of Paper, the rapper,
right,
do a creative writing workshop
Wow.
So that's going to be especially
That'll
important.
be really great community engagement.
It is. And I think it's going to be, if you have something that you want to say, a message, a poem, a rap, and you just want to need help getting that message honed in a little bit more, or you want a prompt, then Pen and Paper is going to help you work on that and how to perform it.
Think of this theme, we are Asian, we are American, we are amazing. I can't help but think about Yuri Kochiyama. She is an Asian American activist that I met when I was 17 years old. And she personified that. She personified the perfect combination of being Asian and American, proud of who she was, but also seeking to change the world, to make it better for everybody that came afterward. So in honor of her, I would say, Yuri Kochiyama, you are amazing.
There are so many things for us to look forward to in CAT's programming this year, but definitely look out for and save the date for the Silicon Valley Asian Pacific Film Festival, which will run from October 20th to 29th.